The AL Central is headlined by the Detroit Tigers, who just beat up on Sanders, or are beating up on Sanders Padres right now as we speak. They went 87-75 last season, collapsed down the stretch to not win the division, and their 2026 projection is 84-78. Their offseason moves: they signed Framber Valdez, Justin Verlander, and Drew Anderson. I'd argue the biggest of those three is the Framber Valdez signing. Kind of a tumultuous end of his career with the Astros, but he's a good pitcher, and he's looked really good in spring training and is going to try and look to shore up that rotation behind a top two pitcher in the MLB, and Tariq Skubal. So kind of, with Skubal, you really just kind of need to fill it in behind him, and I think he's a good piece for that. Any thoughts on the rotation?
I think it's fun that Verlander's back, and then one you didn't mention, Kenley Jansen.
Yeah.
Not that he is, as goated as he was at 38 years old. It is fun to see a playoff performer on a potentially playoff roster.
Yeah. It's still a good piece, even if he is not what he was.
Is Verlander still? He's expected to start.
He's listed fourth in the rotation right now.
That's crazy.
At 43 years young.
It feels like a ride off into the sunset, and also someone
But
that they're just.
wasn't his ride off in the sunset like 2 years ago when he for his second?
But this is
is
like
his
the true
third
one
stint.
because he's back.
But he's already been back, hasn't he?
He's back.
He's already left and come back to the Detroit once, right?
Well, then he went back to the Astros, right?
He did not go back.
I was gonna say,
This
didn't
is
he end
his
up-
first time
didn't he
back
end
to
up on the
Detroit.
Mets?
Is it actually?
And the
He's
Mets
gone
went
back
bad,
to Houston.
and then went back to
Maybe
Houston.
that's what it was.
Oscars don't see him getting through a full season healthy. Personally, at the ripe age of 43, Casey Mize is a good rotation. I like this rotation a lot. A little less bullish on the lineup. I don't think it's bad, but in terms of like some of the other true contender lineups, I think it's a little weak. Riley Green is the team's best hitter, arguably, though Kevin McGonigal is now 2 for 2 today. Which will. Sanders, you have stuff on him because you were talking about him earlier.
No, just
their top prospect.
Yes, the number 2 prospect in the MLB, shortstop, Kevin McGonigal. I just thought it was funny. His last name was McGonigal.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool last name. Not one you see very often. I just think Harry Potter, obviously, who doesn't. He's my swing player, and that's like if he is legit and he lives up to that number 2 prospect billing and can play like that the whole season, it's a huge boost to this lineup with guys like Kerry Carpenter and others. I don't think. Does they re-signing Kyle Finnegan? Or
It looks like it.
Cool.
Yes, I'll double check it.
Yes. Yeah, re-signing Kyle Finnegan. We have a Tigers fan in the chat. He's a long reliever, or is he like? Is he closing for y'all, Harris? Surely he's not closing. If so, he's made money moves since his time with the Nationals.
Yeah, another thing to watch for the Tigers is another minor league prospect, Max Clark, an outfielder. I feel like what kind of defined the Tigers offseason was like doubling down on we're just gonna like hold teams to a few runs and outscore you. Like we're gonna win games like 3-2, 4-3, like because they made almost zero offensive moves. As a matter of fact, and I don't have any listed in my notes. Maybe I missed one, but they didn't really make any big offensive moves to the.
Well, yeah. Here's the problem with the Tigers, and it's that they're still a young team, and so you have the school of thought of like, let's let some of the young guys play, and if it's still like if we don't really take a step this season, maybe we spin next off season. The issue is Tariq Skubal is very likely about to leave. And so then it's like, hey, well, when we have this once in a lifetime generational pitcher, should we maybe have pushed the chips, all in a little more this season? But also they could wait till the trade deadline to do that. It's just kind of interesting to see how it goes. Max Clark is the pitcher that, or the guy that got flack for wearing all the chains in the outfield, the diamond chains, when he's
That's
not
tough.
done anything yet, which is
And had multiple errors,
just
I believe.
old man young at cloud type stuff, honestly.
From fans, you mean?
Well, yeah, just if he's going to wear a lot of chains, that's whatever.
Yeah, but if you're gonna do that and then be bad, which there were a lot of lowlights of him, I kind
It
of get
happens.
the critique.
I mean, but there were critiques before he was goofing plays.
What I will say
I
is,
want my players to have a little swag. confidence really matters in baseball.
Yeah, but it's only confidence if you back it up and play well.
I'm just saying he's the number 10 overall prospect for a reason.
True.
A couple errors is not gonna sway that in one game.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say, I like what you said about them making moves at the deadline because that gives you a lot of options, right? You can figure out A, do we have a good team? B, do we have a team that's only one piece away or two pieces away? It gives you the opportunity to let those young guys play out the first part of the season, and then you identify which of them is like ready to contribute now, and like actually
Sure.
be a part of a really winning team.
Go ahead.
And then you can go out at the trade deadline and go get the pieces or two you think are missing, or it all falls apart and you ship off Scooble at the deadline. And
Yeah. The only scary thing is like sometimes it's a little restrictive what you can do at the trade deadline in terms of like who's available and whatnot. Like sometimes
everyone's available for a price.
Yeah, then you got to pay a premium sometimes.
True.
Time will tell. Time will tell. Either way, they're in a pretty good spot. They're going to be a fun team to watch. At the very least, every fifth day you get to watch Tariq Skubal, and that's a blessing. The Royals are number 2 here in terms of projection. They went 82-80 last season, and their 2026 record projection is 82-80. So kind of right on the money. Off-season moves. Didn't really seem like they did much. I'm not going to lie. They signed Lane Thomas and Isaac Collins to bolster some of the outfield. But those just aren't like crazy splashy names. Rotation-wise, Cole Reagans hopefully is back healthy and ready to roll. Guys like Chris Bubich and Michael Waka, Aggie legend Gig'em. I believe World Series. No, not quite. But yeah, Aggie
Were you
legend.
about to claim a World Series championship for one that you lost?
Huh?
What were you at to?
Oh, World Series, not College World Series.
Oh, okay.
He's old. He was like an
Okay.
Aggie at 2014, 2015.
Because I said
2013.
earlier
Yes.
something about
Jordan Westberg.
Jordan Westberg being I can't remember if he's
I
called World
was-
Series champion. And
I
I
was
didn't know.
not about to claim one we lost.
Okay,
No.
I was about to say y'all didn't win that if I remember correctly.
No. But yeah, I think the rotation is not great. I don't think it's horrible, but I don't think there's a ton of splash there. You definitely don't have a Tariq Skubal at the top of that rotation. And then lineup-wise, you led by the GOAT, Bobby Witt, one of the coolest players, I'd argue, in MLB. Talking about, always wanting to play shortstop. And similar like what Tatis does. Like, when you hit that well and then you can do that with the glove at shortstop. Now, Tatis doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah, kind of sad, but
But, it's just so fun to watch and enjoy. I wish he was... I think everyone wishes he was... I mean, duh.
yeah.
Wishes that they would watch him on his team.
Don't worry, he'll be a Dodger next year.
Miguel Garcia is still there. Vinny Pasquantino is another good hitter on the team. We saw him raking with Italy in the World Baseball Classic. I still don't think it's the deepest lineup either. I wonder if we'll see Jack Caglione. He got caught up last season and did not really have a good start to his MLB career. BABIP was bad. I have it down here. Yeah, boasted a 172 BABIP. So that's just a bit unlucky there. And so maybe that reverts to a better number, and he can have more success if and when he plays. But, he was a top 5 pick.
Who? Caglione?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was up there. Is he on the roster, 40-man roster?
Because
Because he wasn't listed as a prospect, unless he just was lower down.
I have him listed as he's starting in right field.
Okay, so that's why
he played enough last season. He's no longer a prospect.
Okay, but he's also not in this
He
projected
played in
starting
62
lineup.
games last season and boasted a 43 WRC plus.
What is WRC plus?
Weighted runs created.
Okay, cool.
100 is average.
Okay.
110 is like you're 10% better than average.
So
90
43
is your 10%
really, really bad.
less than average.
40
He was really poor.
Okay. Is he still pitching at the MLB level?
I do not believe so.
Okay. I kind of expected him not to, but I knew that he did both. People called him like the Shohei Ohtani of college, which he was a great pitcher in college. So I suppose he could have done it, but interesting that he's not. Yeah. I can see what you're saying about the lineup, and I think it's so funny that the meme after the World Baseball Classic is that if you watch the World Baseball Classic with no context, you would think that the Royals were like a dynasty.
Yeah.
And they are not that. So
I will say, as much as I'm saying I don't really like either the lineup or the bullpen and Harris in the chest, he doesn't really like their bullpen either. a lot of it's the same group, and they won 82 games last season.
Yeah.
So clearly they do have some like legit pieces there that we're discounting. Even like Salvador Perez, even though he's older, is a good catcher. Jonathan India looks like he's going to start at second for him. I just like I don't see like any legit postseason aspirations out of this team in terms of like making the World Series or something like that.
Yeah.
Time will tell. Time
They
will tell.
also lost Mississippi State legend Adam Frazier.
I did not know he was a
there.
Mississippi State legend.
Yeah.
Shout
Played
out
at
to Adam
State.
Frazier.
Second baseman. Played here at State, but he's no longer with the Royals. Did you talk about Reagan's?
Yeah. That. Well, you mean what do you have on him? I just mentioned that he's back healthy. And
Yeah,
hopefully
that's
ready
exactly.
To, like,
Yeah. Apparently, or his 2024 season was fantastic, and then only had 13 starts last year because of a torn rotator cuff strain, not torn. So, if he comes back and he's playing like he did in 2024, that's really big. Is he your swing guy for this team?
Jack Caglione was my swing guy.
Okay,
Just
okay.
like former top prospect. Rough start, but like, he's an off-season kind of adjust and see what he can do.
Yep.
Got a little unlucky last season. If he gets a chance, hopefully he like takes and runs with it. Because especially this team, I feel like, doesn't have like crazy power down the lineup, and that's a huge power bat if he lives his potential.
Yeah.
Moving on, I was not gonna lie stunned to see this team listed at third in record projection. That's the Twins. Who went 70 and 92 last season, and then went 70. Their projection for 2026, is 79 and 83. And I think it stunned me because off rip we heard all off season about how they maybe were just gonna like sell everyone. Like Joe Ryan. Oh, Byron Buxton's on the market. Was anyone going to trade for Byron Buxton? And they didn't actually end up selling any of those guys, so I guess like the roster's still okay. But I still, in my mind, I'm like, okay, now they're like a team that's like looking to sell and like ready to kind of maybe go into a bit of a rebuild. But I mean, they're projected to win 79 games. Off-season moves, they signed Victor Caratini to maybe play some behind the plate. Josh Bell, kind of a veteran slugger at this point. Either play first base or DH some, it looks like. Those are kind of their big moves. Joe Ryan, fantastic pitcher, is going to headline their staff. I don't really like the names behind him, though. I will not lie. Guys like Bailey Ober, who I believe is the former Uber driver. Though maybe I'm confusing him with some other former Twins pitcher. So if I just called you an Uber driver, I apologize, Bailey, if you're not. Simeon Woods Richardson's in that rotation. And then lineup-wise, I love Byron Buxton. I really honestly was like hoping maybe the Braves would trade for him. Hopefully he stays healthy. Royce Lewis is another good bat who has maybe struggled to stay healthy some. I think it's a fine team.
You said that the Royals are third, and not the Twins are third in the division in win total projection?
Yeah.
That's really interesting because this is the first time the Vegas odds and your win projections have been different. The Twins have the fourth best odds to win the division at plus 900 behind the Guardians at plus 430.
So the Guardians are fourth here, and I bet it's a thing of like the Steamer's just a complete projection system based on current talent of roster.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet Vegas is baking in all the noise about them selling off pieces and probably looking to like move into a rebuild and not wanting to spend money. And so like expecting to take a step back from that standpoint. Whereas, mine's just a projection system based off talent, so they don't do any of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Plus, the models are different, so maybe it's not any of that, and they just spit out different numbers. I mean, the Guardians are projected at 77 to 85, so it's like only a couple game difference in terms of the projections. Anything else on the Twins, though?
Yeah, I have them. I think it is Walker Jenkins a former number one overall pick.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, I wrote in my notes they have a former number one overall pick and forgot to write his name. But in the last 3 seasons, he's played 58 games and then 82, and then last season 106. So I think he's been dealing with injury and kind of playing more and more. But I believe he was drafted in like the late 2010s. So he's probably in his late 20s or 30s at this point. I wish I had written his name down. I can go find it later. But
I mean, Royce Lewis was drafted 2017.
hold on, can I see his face?
He's got like a mustache and he's bald, I think.
I think that's him. In what year?
2017.
Yeah.
Because he's dealt with injuries.
Yep.
So that would fit the bill.
So hopefully he gets healthy, right? Would love to see a complete season from him. And then also they've got a top 15 or the number 14 prospect in the minor leagues, Walker Jenkins, an outfielder. So if he can contribute, and then the last thing I'll say is that their payroll is down $50 million from 2024. Did you see that?
I did not.
Yeah.
But that didn't surprise me because
So-
they kind of tried to go all in that offseason and it didn't really work. That's
Yep.
like when they brought in Carlos Correa, stuff like that.
Yep. They also have San Diego Padre legend Josh Bell.
Yeah.
Believe he was a Padre legend. The names all kind of run together, but I believe he was a Padre
He did
legend.
spend some time on the Padres.
But that's all I have on the Twins. So now we can get to what Vegas has as the third best team and what your source has as the fourth best team.
Yes, though this is the classic Cleveland Guardians who always outperform expectations. I mean, they're the rating division winners. They went 88-74 last season, hawked down the Detroit Tigers down the stretch to win the division last season. And their 2026 projection is 77-85. So 11 games worse is what they're projected to go. Classic Guardians move. Didn't
None.
really make off-season moves.
Yep.
I have one written down. Sean Armstrong signed him for $5.5 million. He's a pitcher. Did not recognize the name. So that tells you I'm not like the biggest MLB guy, but if I don't recognize the name, it definitely is not like a splashy signing.
Yeah. But also, when you win the division, there's an argument to not make moves.
Correct.
Because they also didn't really lose anybody.
Correct.
So
now,
you keep the group together, get the band back together, run it back.
I mean, this is once again the classic Guardians way. I look at the rotation. I mean, Tanner Bibby is your one starter. Gavin Williams slots in behind him. I don't really love the rotation. I think it's fine. And once again, Guardians have another team that is pretty good about finding pitching wherever, like, just kind of little nooks and crannies and picking up other teams, like, kind of trash and recycling them into good pitchers. So, expect more of that. And then the lineup is honestly pretty good for a Guardians lineup. I like Kyle Manzardo, Reese Hoskins. Maybe he can find a bit more form. Bo Naylor is a pretty good hitting catcher. You obviously have Jose Ramirez still there. He's kind of been the stalwart for a long time. Stephen Kwan is a really good contact hitter, plays great defense. I think Chase DeLauder is a younger guy.
He is. He's the number 46 prospect.
Yeah. And then, so I do think it's a better lineup than we've seen out of some recent Guardians teams. I am excited for that. I do wonder maybe, I doubt it, if we would see some Jace Laviolette this season, Aggie legend. My guess is he doesn't debut until next season.
Yeah, he wasn't listed in the. He may have been top 100. I usually stopped like 50 or 60 just because I wasn't sure how much those guys would impact this season. So I did not write him down as an impact prospect.
I would not expect. The odds are he does not debut
Isn't
this season.
he
It's just
also
a hope.
technically came off an injury as well? Or was that Grahovac?
He's coming off an injury, but he was able to play some of the tail end of last minor league season and fall ball
Okay.
because he just broke his hand at the end of the last college baseball season.
Okay.
So
And then do we want to go ahead? No, we still have one more team.
yeah,
Apologies.
and we're gonna blitz through this team.
I mean, they have one of the most. No, I'm not even. They have Brady Montgomery. So there you
Yeah.
go. There's your guy.
The White Sox went 62-100 last season, and their record projection for this upcoming season, 2026, is 69-93.
Improvement.
They made one of the more shocking signings of free agency in that it was signing Munetaka Murakami.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if I didn't pronounce that right.
Looks good to me.
Bit of a power bat, but swing and miss concerns really dropped his value, which I think is why the White Sox ended up signing him, because they felt like it was a price that was kind of a bit of a buy low, and he could maybe be a future piece of this team. Besides that, they just kind of signed a couple other depth pieces to kind of try and get them through this rebuild, wait for prospects to come up and shore it up. Rotation, I have, first thing in my notes, in contention for worst rotation in MLB. Shane Smith, I believe, was the opening day starter
Yeah.
in
he
his
was.
second year.
Yep.
He had a 3.81 ERA last season, but kind of time will tell. I mean,
He didn't make it 2 innings.
He didn't. Yeah, there you go. Sean Burke, Anthony Kay. I think I saw Eric Fetty is a projected starter. That is really bad if that is the case. Used to be a good day when you were the Braves and Eric Fetty was starting for the Nationals.
He is, yeah.
So the rotation's bad, and the lineup is crazy young. Kyle Teal, who is hurt right now.
Mississippi State legend-in-law.
Yes.
A legend-in-law.
UVA legend. He was great the bit he played for Team Italy before getting hurt. Colson Montgomery's a fun piece. Chase Mydroth hit a leadoff home run today for the White Sox, and that was their lone run of the game. You know, they got a lead for a little bit.
That's big.
Luis Angel Acuna, Ronald Acuna's brother.
Yeah.
Not nearly
He's
as
young,
good.
right?
Younger, but like he's not like a top prospect. And then maybe Brady Montgomery debuts later this season.
Yeah.
Is he their highest prospect?
Yes.
Yeah.
And their only
is fantastic.
guy in
Like-
the top 50, I believe.
That's not necessarily a bad thing to have Brady Montgomery be your best prospect. He's been raking in the minors. So, shall we pick this division? Do you have anything you want to add on the White Sox?
No.
Cool.
Like I said, Mississippi State legend-in-law Kyle Teal. It was
Yeah.
all I was going to say about that, but I'm down to go ahead and pick it.
I got Guardians.
Okay.
Just trust, man.
A shout out to my brother. We'll be going the Tigers, obviously. They end up losing the division close last season, which he kind of predicted. I feel like he has terrible luck with sports teams, which I'm a State fan, so like we're not much different. But his teams are like he's a Kentucky fan, so like they're almost good but choke. So he's a Kentucky fan, they're good and choke. Now you got the Guardians, the Tigers, who were fantastic last year. At one point, up double-digit games in their division and end up choking it down the stretch, and then almost win it's AL, not the ALDS. I believe they almost won the divisional series over the Mariners, and then end up losing to the
I think
Mariners.
they lost in 5 games.
Okay, 5 games, and it goes to 5, right?
Yes,
Because it's
yeah.
not 7.
They lost the winner take all.
Yeah.
Harris
So
can back us up on that.
didn't they have multiple 18-inning games in that series?
Surely not multiple 18.
But one of them was stupid long. It was on till 2 a.m. I was in the casino.
I thought they had 2 super long ones in that. Harris, you can confirm for me. I thought y'all had 2 very long games in that series. But all that to say, I will be picking the Tigers. I'll be repping my younger brother and his fandom. And also, they're the favorite, so it's not even like a hot take. I'm not picking a huge underdog.
You're not necessarily going out on a thin limb here.
Yeah. So, and then he also said the biggest storyline for the Guardians has to be Clase. Clase, excuse me.
He's the guy that's in the betting scandal.
Okay.
So
And then he said in the 18th or 15th inning. Are you saying you had an 18-inning game and a 15-inning game? Or are you saying...
I think he's saying he doesn't remember.
Okay.
If not, he doesn't know how to use or.
Yeah.
He needs to.
It could
he
be
needs
a
to watch
typo.
the conjunction junction. What's your function? Schoolhouse Rock song badly.
Facts. JP, who are you going?
I'm gonna go with the Royals of
There we go.
Kansas City.
So we got 3 different directions. We all went
Yeah.
3 teams.
If we collectively swing and miss on that would be wild.
I
I feel pretty good about that.
yeah,
not
I feel
happening.
very good about that.
Correct.